Hello everyone, what's up and welcome to the Shiny Raigeki channel. Now today we're going to go through my Oafdragon Magician Performapals. Now, before we even go into the deck profile, I just have a couple things to talk about. First thing is the channel's growth. The channel has been growing significantly within the past year. Last year alone I had like under 40 subscribers. Now I have 147. So thanks to all the subscribers and the people who like the videos. I'm very appreciative of the support. Also, I have my Facebook page down in the description where I update Yu-Gi-Oh news daily by the hour. As long as I'm awake, the Yu-Gi-Oh news will be posted. So before I even go into deck profile, I'm going to say for anyone who is new or anyone who has been here for a while, I always give in-depth description of the cards, what they do, and why you play a certain amount, everything about the deck so you understand it inside out. First up, the main core of the deck, the Odd Eyes. Now he works with any side of the deck, whether it be Performapals or Magicians, they need him to operate. So he's the main monster of the deck. Also, he's a 2/5 beat stick. His Pendulum Scale effect gives him a search. He's a Rota type of effect during the end phase, so a 1500 or less Pendulum monster. And the monster effect is that it attacks and does double damage, which is significant when you combo off with other cards. Also, even though this is rarely used, the Pendulum Zone effect has a Waboku effect where if you do battle with a Pendulum monster, you can take no damage for the first attack. Next up, you have Mirage. He's very important to play because he's your only level 3 Pendulum monster in the deck. Also, he's a scale 8, which is very useful in the deck. And because you need scale 8 to pendulum summon your big monsters, and you'd more likely try and summon your big monsters first. The playstyle of the deck is to try OTK while trying to gain an advantage over your opponent. You'll get your little free +1s from your Oafdragons and your searches, and you'll keep trying to 1-for-1 your opponent while you gain advantages off it until you overwhelm them. Next one up is your Unicorn. What you really played for is a scale effect, and that is a high scale as well, 8. When you attack with an Odd-Eyes monster, you can increase his attack by a Performapal. Just to give you an idea, you can increase your Odd-Eyes up to 4500, and because it does double damage if it attacks, say, like a 1000 attack monster, which is possible, that's a game right then and there. Next one up, the last for the Odd-Eyes. Some of them are also Performapals. They're not just Odd-Eyes alone, Phoenix. The only reason why I play him, he's a searchable low scale, which is 3, the lowest you can search for the Odd-Eyes. Next one up, you have your Performapal Xiangke. He's a Stratos, normal summon, search for any monster in your deck. Sorcerer, destroy cards on your field and search for Odd-Eyes cards. Now because, it searches for Performapals, but because these are Odd-Eyes and Performapals, you can search for them. Also the Phoenix. Next up is Dag Daggerman. He's not that good, he's not that useful, but he comes in very handy in situations where you're playing down. Normally, because we had Kirin, it was very important to try and make this stay on the field. But now that Kirin is gone, and we have this, what we can do now is that when we exceed with 2 level 4s, we can get it back from grave. And because it's a Stratos, you want to get it back because you can search for any card, any monster card in your deck. Next one up, we have the last of the Performapal, Radish. He's a very good card. How you do is a combo with Odd-Eyes and the Sorcerer. I'll show you at the end of the video. And it's a OTK where you need Radish when you search for the Sorcerer. And you'll also search for a Unicorn. Now, the Radish is very good, but because it's so good, if it goes through once, you win the game. Now, if I only need 1 to win the game, it doesn't make sense I play more than 1. So that's it for the Performapals and the Odd-Eyes. Next one up, we have the Magicians. Triple Dragonpit, high scale, level 7, very important. Dragonpulse, I cut it from the deck. I did a lot of playtesting because since we got the ban list, I've been playtesting until I find a very solid build because the deck isn't what it used to be anymore. Even though we have double wisdom now. Now, Pit, he destroys back row, and Dragonpulse, monster removal. Just discard a Pendulum monster and it will destroy. Next one up, we have Double Wisdom Eye. He's a real core of the magicians, being able to destroy himself and put any magician in scale just by having a Performapal or magician in scale. Next one up, we have Double Oath. Now, Oath and Wisdom combos off very easily into anything because you can go Wisdom and Oath, destroy Oath itself, put in Pit in scale, and use Oath to add back the Wisdom to your hand. So it's a free +1 right then and there. And if there's any back row, you can always discard the Wisdom, you just add it back to destroy it. Then the only tuner once in the deck, Noble Dragon. Just know that the graveyard effect is very useful, but if you want to discard anything, this is the ideal card to discard because it has a graveyard effect where it's a glow up bulb. And special summon back itself, then it takes off 3 level off an odd-eyes monster. So it gives you an instant Synchro summon for 7. And 7 is the way you want to go, because there's a lot of level 7s in the deck. Now, the last for the magicians is Triple Xiangke. Xiangke has an effect to negate light monsters. So it's very good against ABCs, Light Sworns, Cosmos, a lot of mainstream deck that run light monsters. Also, his scale effect is important because it makes you go for the boss monster of the deck. So you have to play at least 1. However, 3 is very good because he's at level 7, which helps you a lot in the deck. Next one up, the only non-pendulum monster and non-theme card, Triple Apex Avian. I have to play them again because I realize with the deck, you cannot afford to not draw a power card. If you don't draw your Sorcerer, if you don't draw Iris, if you don't draw Odd Eyes, you're fighting a losing battle. So Avian just gives you a free advantage being a 2/7 beast stick, and if my opponent activates something I don't like, negate. Full stop. And then what is really in here for is that barrier. Dimensional barrier is a bitch, because when they call Pendulum, you can still fusion and exceed, but how you gonna get the monsters on the field? Now, the fact with Avian is that you can Pendulum summon him regardless if they call Pendulum someone, because you're not trying to Pendulum summon a Pendulum monster. You're Pendulum summoning an effect monster, so you can still summon it. And it's just a very good card. Next one up, we have the spells. Triple Iris, Double Terraforming. Now, I switched around the orders. I was playing Double Iris, Triple Terraforming, but because I took out all 3 Magical Abductor, yeah, I just switched around the ratios. Now, Magical Abductor is taken out because it just wasn't searching for anything that I couldn't search for normally anymore. Because Kieran is not in the deck anymore, he is banned. It doesn't really make sense. The deck will search for anything it needs. Also, it clogs up the Pendulum zone, because if I don't find anything to destroy it, it's stuck in there, which I don't want. Surprisingly, people think I want it in there. But the magicians require magicians in the zones. So they're the ideal way to set up your board. So you don't really want it. Next one up, Double Odd-Eyes Fusion, must play. You have to play at least once. I'm very comfortable with 2 because I play at least a few fusions. And I'd like to summon all of them. And all of them are good, so there's no reason for me not to play that. 1 Pendulum Call, very good card. Searches just by discarding. Then we have Double Typhoon, Raigeki, and that rounds it up for spells. Now, the only trap card I play is Treacherous Trap Hole, because it can only activate if it's the only trap card. Now, I just really like it. It's very reliable when I draw it, of course, because it's a chainable trap to remove 2 monsters, and it comes in clutch against people who are using fusion summons and monsters that's stuck on the field. Just instant removal, and I really like it. It doesn't have to wait like Mirror Force. Now, some other cards I was going to play, but I cut them, was Brain Control. It just didn't do much for me. I like the fact that I can attack, but the monsters they can take now because of the errata doesn't make any sense. Then we have Splash Mammoth. Very good card. However, it only works if I'm making a big combo. Now, because I took out Abductor, this doesn't make any sense in it. And the last card I was testing was Aether Dragon. Aether Dragons are a really good card. Just summon and banish. Full stop. The problem I'm having with it is that it's not searchable in the deck, so it has poor synergy. Also, I took out for the Exceed, Utopia. because I only play Oafdragon as the only level 6, it's kind of hard to summon. And then even a summon it, losing Oaf in a duel is very detrimental. So it's not really getting you anywhere if you don't win the duel. Next one up, we have Abyss Dweller. Dweller is a very good card. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not playing it because the decks that I'm facing right now, none of them using graveyard effects, so why bother play Dweller? That's the only reason why I took it out. Next one up is the extra deck. Fusions first, double Vortex, and Starving Venom. Let me just teach you a neat trick with Starving Venom. If you're playing against metal foes, if they leave an Orichalcum on the field and a defense position metal foes, when you fusion summon this card, you can copy the attack of any monster they control. Actually, not copy, but gain the attack. So you can gain the Orichalcum attack. Then you can copy a level 5 or higher monster on my opponent's side of the field effect. Now I'm going to copy the Orichalcum effect because I'm at 5,600. If I attack any low defense monster, it does double piercing. It's GG Nari. And Vortex is Vortex. We all know why it's here. It's a very good card. Then we have Meteor, Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and Nirvana High Paladin. He's the OTK. Clearwing is there for stun, and this card is a synchro that you can get back with from the graveyard, so it's good. And it combos with your Absolute Dragon, being able to get it back from the grave. Next one up, we have Castel, Trapeze Magician, and Dank Rebellion Exceed Dragon. Now, he just fits the theme of the deck, and it really helps you to do a lot of damage. Because you can take your opponent's strongest monster, half them, and let others attack it, so it's double damage from others, and it will be at some outrageous amount. Trapeze helps with OTKs, and also because I got the Utopia had an extra space, I put in Trapeze. He has very good synergy with the deck. That's the only reason why I put him in. And Castel is Castel. He earns his spot by being Castel. Next one up, we have for the bigger Exceeds, Big Eye and Flare. Big Eye just snatch and steal, and Flare, whenever your opponent has low life points, you just summon this card. Even with a little protection if you can. For example, a Vortex to negate anything that would destroy him, so your opponent has to Kaiju. Next one up, we have Double Absolute Dragon. When this card is Exceed summon and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon any other monster from your extra deck, even face up extra deck. Also, it can negate attacks and special summon back other monsters from the graveyard. So if you fusion earlier, synchro earlier, you can get them back. Next one up, we have the two cards, which are Rebellion and Raging, your OTKs. Rebellion is a bit more less likely chance to OTK because your opponent has to control level 7 and lower monsters. But knowing that it will destroy all monsters on my opponent's side of the field, it works. Also, it doesn't work against Link monsters because they don't have levels. It'll work against Exceed monsters because they don't have levels. So if you're playing against like a Blue Eyes or anything like that, you automatically know you can activate it. So that what makes Raging Dragon better. Raging Dragon only attacks, for example, the lowest this can attack for is 6,400. The lowest this can attack for is 10,000. That's the difference. But you might get off this easier than that. Now, that's it for the monster section. And I'm not going to show you a side deck because there's no defined meta where I am. So I have my side deck built up, but it might not affect wherever you are playing. So you don't have to play what I play. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll try and get out more videos as soon as possible. And have a great day. Peace.